Betsy, and today we have a fun video. We are going to be testing out the new Huetopian Dream palette by Pat McGrath Labs. Now, if you're not familiar, I love Pat McGrath Labs. It is one of my favorite brands. I love Mama Pat. I just adore her makeup. I love her story and just everything about it. But this is going to be a true first impressions. I haven't even undone this packaging yet. I do plan on doing another video where I compare the shades that are in this to all the other motherships because I own all of them, as well as some of my indie singles to see if you can dupe this out in your collection. Now, my husband did order this upon release day. It didn't take long to get here, so this released on the 12th, and today is the 18th, so it took about 5 days, which part of that was a weekend. And this palette retails for $125. Now, the outside packaging on this is it's so gorgeous. And then also he picked up the Pat McGrath Labs Intensify Eye Artistry Wand. Now I did pull the plastic part off of it, but I haven't opened this up yet. And this is supposed to be like a liquid mixing medium in pen form. And this has a 6-month shelf life. We'll talk about this first and then kind of go into the palette. But again, this is all going to be first impressions. So I'm not sure if it's liquid. I'm not sure how this works. Because like you pump it and it's supposed to be, I just don't know how much you're supposed to pump to be able to start to get it out. I was excited for this because when I saw the promo pictures for the Eye Intensive Wand, I thought it was like a jelly kind of thing. Okay, so it's slowly coming out. I guess you kind of gotta, okay, you see how the tip is coming out more? Okay. Oh, it's not a liquid. It's, okay, so it's solid. Even though you gotta pump it, when you pump it, it's like a lip gloss. Does that you see what I'm saying? So like as you pump it, that little clear, like solid mixing medium comes out, and then you can kind of see it looks like petroleum jelly on the back of my hand. So what I think I'm gonna do is when we swatch these shades, I'm gonna like have half of my hand with the mixing medium, and then I'm gonna swatch it next to it without. So that's what that looks like, and that's $32. I have no idea if it's worth it or not. And even whenever I go to do like multiple videos with this, that product I won't know until I've used for a while, because you can buy glitter glue pretty cheap, so it kind of depends. So when you undo your little string packaging, this is what the inside of the palette looks like. Again, she's weighty. I do like that I like how they did the name cards this time, but I never keep the name cards and I never keep the boxes. I know some people are obsessive about keeping that, but I just don't need that in my life. If it's not on the palette itself, I mean, for most packaging, I just don't keep. So the packaging looks luxe and nice, just like the other motherships. It does feel a little bit different, like, I don't know, it doesn't feel as raised. I could be wrong about that though. I don't have any of my other motherships in front of me. So this is what, oh, she looks like up close. So there are 3 mattes, one that is kind of more satin, then we've got some of her special formula over here. So we're gonna start off by swatching. So we're gonna start off with the not as amazing colors, I guess is the best way to put it, because you know where Mama Pat stuff stands out is her really pretty shimmers. So we're gonna start off with Skin Show Nude Ecstasy. That's over the mixing medium side, and that's not. I mean, they look about the same, at least at this point. And again, these are things that are kind of hard to tell. So I'm gonna swatch the mattes on the other side. So next up is Extreme Plum Noir. So there's Extreme Plum Noir. Then we have Secret Eden. So that's a pinky nude. Okay, next up we have Cosmic Bloom. So that's over the Intensify. Oh, that's pretty. See, like this is a very wet feeling shimmer. I don't know, there's something like when you use it over the Intensify, at least like if you look at this, at least on these types of shimmers, it looks a tad bit smoother. I mean, it's still sparkly, so I'm not exactly sure. And if you're wondering how I'm swatching these, just in case, so this is Skin Show Nude Ecstasy, and this is Extreme Plum Noir. So I'm going up, down. Okay, next up we have Bronze Desire. That's pretty. And then Bronze Desire again. Yeah, if you look, it almost makes it a tad bit smoother. We shall see. Now we're gonna go into the last matte, which is Shockwave. So that's more of a corally tone. So that's the 3 mattes in the palette. I mean, the mattes in here aren't anything special. I mean, it's really not even anything unique to Mama Pat's collection, but it is what it is. Next up, we have Bronze Solaris. Okay, so these kinds of shades, the Mama Pat special formula, they're kind of a little on the chunky side. Oh, so see, that grips really well. So you see, oh yeah, so now I can see a difference. You see how much more opaque this side with the mixing medium, which is this side, than without? It just grabs it a little bit better. So, but it's not sticky. I don't know if this same kind of process would work with like lip balm, because that's kind of almost what it feels like. So I'm adding a little bit more to my wrist area. Okay, next up we have Blitz Sex Dream. Oh, okay, so this reminds me of Sextraterrestrial, but it's a little bit smoother, but the coloring is very, very similar. Like this one is super duper soft, and look how beautiful that looks on the fingertip. But you can see mixing medium side, non-mixing medium side. And I figured the reason why I did first impressions for this is because I figured this part, trying to swatch over the mixing medium, would take me a little bit longer. Now we have Astral Venetian Orchid. Oh, look at that. Look how beautiful. And then the non. Yeah, you can see that the mixing medium definitely grabs a whole lot more, but it's pretty with or without. And I will tell you, using a regular glitter glue still does the same thing. And now last but not least is Astral Amethyst Moon. I love that color. But yeah, you see what I'm saying? It grips so much better. But again, I always use a glitter glue, so it is what it is. Because these are a little bit flaky, and they feel a little bit flakier than even her normal formula. And I didn't tell you what the shelf life was on this, did I? I did not. This has a 18-month? Yes, 18-month shelf life. So that is the mattes, and that is the shimmers. Which I am okay with it being shimmer heavy, because, you know. And a lot of times, like if you're dealing with an indie brand, the multi-chromes that are kind of like these special shades that are in here are anywhere from, you know, $15 to $25 each. So they can be pretty pricey themselves. So, you know, I don't not think that the value is there for Mama Pat, but I will also tell you this, that her palettes for the most part are not limited edition as far as I know, and I would wait for a sale. Unless you're obsessive about the brand like I am. Okie dokie. So, we're gonna do an eye look because I can't help it. So this is the Saga of Freya, one of the brushes from Odin's Eye, and that's an FR1. And we're gonna start off with, what is your name? Secret Eden, that light pink shade. I love that they didn't change the mirror or anything like that. Like Mama's Pat's packaging does feel luxe, at least to me, and that is, you know, what matters. And what I find value in whenever it comes to eyeshadow may not be what you find value in when it comes to eyeshadow. But look at that. I mean, the thing is, even with Mama Pat's mattes, they blend themselves out and you can intensify them. This is the same shade on each eye, okay? Look at the difference between both eyes. Now I'm gonna dip back in and just apply like a second coat, and look. You see what I'm saying? You can play with her mattes and get different variations in them just by how much you dip and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that is beautiful. Okie dokie. Now I'm gonna go into the ColourPop E19, which is a small little blendy brush, and we're gonna go into Shockwave, which is that brighter coral. And I'm going to apply that into my crease. So that does add a little bit of brightness. Now I do hope that Mama Pat does kind of branch out and explore different mattes where we're not getting always nudes, and especially pinky tone nudes. Now I know that that is what she loves, which again, it's her brand, she gets that choice, but you know, I do hope that it does become to get some variation in shades at some point. But again, I don't buy Mama Pat for the mattes, even though I love her mattes. I mean, being completely honest, that's not why I buy them. I am going to grab, what am I going to use for the, you know what, I'm going to use the same ColourPop, and we're going to go into the Extreme Plum Noir, which is the deepest matte in the palette. And we're going to apply that into the outer crease, because this is something I always do. But yeah, I mean, if you're anything like me and you have, because part of what attracts me to Mama Pat is her special shades. And it's like they're so unique. Now, if you've got a lot of indie stuff, they're not as unique, but I feel like Mama Pat was where I first started to dip my toes into it. So I think that's where the love affair really comes in. It's like, I feel like Mama Pat was ahead of the game for a lot of things. There we go. I could be completely wrong, but like, I mean, you see what I'm saying? This is so easy to do. So I'm gonna take the Intensify Eye Wand. Now, I'm not gonna use every shimmer in here because I can't, but I am gonna apply that Intensify Eye Wand all over the lid. But you see, yeah, it's not liquid. It's a balm. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to take, this is a Kaleidos S3, right? S4, so it's like a flat brush, and I'm going to go into Astral Amethyst Moon, and that's what I'm going to use all over the lid. Now I do feel like if you want some different variation with this eyeshadow palette, if you want to have like more of a purple crease to blend with this, you will have to dig into other palettes. Again, those are things that really don't bother me too much. Okay, everything is sticking well to that mixing medium. I think it looks pretty. The only issue that I am having is I like, because I always use my brush kind of wet. I'm gonna grab my setting spray and I'm just spraying my brush down. It kind of helps with fallout as well. At least it does for me. So there we go. Now, I will say this, that there's not a whole lot of base color in these. Like a lot of like your Divinas, your Cleonas, whenever you're talking about like their multi-chromes. So these might do better if you put them over a black base. So just so you know. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. And I don't know if I applied enough of the mixing medium as well, because that's part of it. You got to learn what works. And this does look really pretty though, doesn't it? I mean, my eye looks very metallic, very foiled. I don't have shimmer going all over the place. And yes, you can see the shifty shifts in these. And I know a lot of people don't think Mama Pat's worth it, but again, everyone is entitled to their own opinion about it, and what works for me may not work for you, and vice versa. But there we go. What do you think? I think it's pretty. Okay. I'm gonna go off camera. I'm going to do the rest of my face, then we'll come back and do the lower lash line and talk about the first impressions on this palette. I'm back and I have the rest of my face on. I used the Divine Nude liquid lipstick from Mama Pat on my lips, plus the Pale Fire Nectar lip gloss. Isn't that a beautiful combination? For bronzer, I used the Gucci bronzer in number 2. For blush, I used Mama Pat's Nymphette blush, and then I also used the Divine Rose highlight. I used a lot of Mama Pat today, so I was like, I am using it. And then I used my Permagel Extreme Black not liquid liner, because that is a pencil eyeliner. But so far, doesn't this look good? So good. So let's go ahead and do the under eyes and inner corner, and then we will be done. Okay, so I'm gonna grab the same ColourPop E19, and I'm going to go into the Cosmic Bloom shade right here, which is that pinky kind of gold shift, and tap that off, and we're gonna use that under the eye. I like to use, well, I'll use shimmers anywhere. Let's be honest, like I have no issue using a shimmer under the eye. I have no issue using nothing but shimmers. Like, I don't know. Mattes I like for color, but I don't need a matte. Like, if you give me good shimmers, I will be like, okay, we'll be glowing for the gods all day long. Let everything on me sparkle. Because I do not understand the concept of being too much. I am not going to shrink down and not be me for anybody because they're like, oh, you're too much. No, you're not enough. I'm joking, but you know. Okay, so I'm blending that out. That looks really pretty, very natural looking. Now I'm gonna grab, this is the pencil brush from Odin's Eye. This is the FR number 6, and we're gonna go into the shade, that white purple shade, the Astral Venetian Orchid. I am spraying it with some MAC Fix Plus because, yeah, that's what I always do. Well, not always, but ooh, that's pretty. I wish I would have grabbed a little bit smaller of a brush, but you know what? You live and you learn, and it looks really stinking pretty. I really like this. Okay. So far, so good. I like the way that the look has come out. I think it is very, very pretty. Do I know if it's Mama Pat's best one yet? I don't know. Could be. You'll have to come back and check out my full review on it. But I do think it's a beautiful palette. I don't think it's a Huetopian Dream. I don't think it's a rainbow palette. I wish she would do a rainbow palette, but this is not one. And I will keep you updated on the Intensify Artistry wand on how I like it. but this is the final look for first impressions. Think it looks gorgeous. So we'll be back in a few days for comparisons and to let you know, because I'll probably just kind of reach for that palette throughout and see what I think about it. But I guess that's it for today's video. We'll see y'all later. Bye.